Finally, we can move on to the first Zelda game for the Nintendo DS. In this first video, we'll take a look at the characters that were shown in the world of the Ocean King. There weren't too many characters that stood out, but at least we put together a list, even though they're shorter than our usual characters list. Also, thanks to ZeldaUniverseTV for letting us use their footage. We're TheOwnersofTriforce, I'm on the one, and this is our top 3 coolest and weirdest characters from Phantom Hourglass. There are some random ships out on the ocean that Link can board while he's out at sea. In the northeastern part of the world, he can board a ship that's decorated with happy paintings on the walls, yet full of enemies. Once you defeat the enemies, the Man with Smiles appears. And what does he do? Smile, of course. He's happy that you defeated the enemies and starts a trading sequence. Every other time Link comes to the ship, he has to defeat another wave of enemies to then receive a prize postcard. With this postcard, the Man of Smiles wants to bring smiles to everyone. Hence, the name. No actual given name from his family, no family name or anything, just the Man of Smiles. The Nintendo DS has the capability for online and download play, meaning you could play games against other players on the internet, or just play against someone with a DS close to you. Phantom Hourglass had a multiplayer option as well, but in addition to play against each other, there are other ways to interact. The creators of the game wanted to allow the players to give each other items, like treasures and ship parts, that you can collect throughout the game. And how did they decide to let you do this in the game? By having you talk to Friedel. He sits on a little island in the northeastern corner of Murky Island, playing the guitar and explains what you have to do to send treasures and parts to other players by singing. It could have been a mailbox or some sort of bank or whatever, but Nintendo surely knows how to do things in a weird way. On this occasion, by letting you put items into a magical box next to this weird looking, guitar playing and explanation singing guy. We've already had a Postman in Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, and even a race that has their own mail service in Wind Waker. So we've seen weird Postmen already, and the one in Phantom Hourglass is not an exception. After having the Rito as mailman in Wind Waker, we're not really surprised to see a Postman that can fly. But that's because Ritos were birds. The Postman here, however, is just a human with wings, who look pretty weird when he flies. But that's not all, of course. When he delivers something as private as a letter, he doesn't just hand it over. No, he reads it out loud to you. Yeah, how is that for privacy? Anyone else around could probably hear what he says. But in addition to reading it out loud, he usually has a comment about what the letter said. Who does that? But it doesn't end there. At one point, he reads the wrong letter to you, as in a letter that was addressed to someone else than Link. I know I already said it, but how is that for privacy? We think this is good enough to make him our number 1 weirdest character in this game. Now, on to the coolest. If there's one race we've expressed positive feelings towards and included a cool character from, it's definitely the Gorrons. And since there are Gorrons in this game, then of course we have to pick one of them. And hey, what do you know? We pick another Gorron leader. This time it's Big Gorron. It's become a pretty common name now. Anyway, there aren't really that many cool characters that stick out in this game. But we do like Big Gorron because he has a quiz with Link. And we love quizzes. The questions are about stuff on the island, like how many caves there are, or how many Gorron children there are. And then you earn a certain amount of rupees for every correct answer. Then he asks you about how many rupees you've collected so far, and that really caught us by surprise. Anyway, the quiz is fun. He's a cool guy. Oh, and that beard? That beard. Our second coolest is the guy who forges the Phantom Sword, Zaius. Zaius?
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius! Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius!
Yeah, let's go with Zaius. There isn't all that much to him in the game. He sits in his house on his little island without anything on his upper body, except for those awesome markings or tattoos or whatever they are. You only have to meet him twice throughout the game, but he seems like a very wise and important man. He's unlike any other person in the game, at least when it comes to his appearance. In fact, he reminds us of a male Gerudo, and then especially Ganondorf. That's pretty much what we think is cool about him. Really, could you expect anyone else to top this list? Of course Linebeck is number one. He's a trustworthy, well, to a certain extent anyway, helper of Link throughout the game. He's very high on himself, and believes he's the toughest man at sea. His introduction says it all. You find him in the Temple of the Ocean King, where he feigns an injury while he cries for help. Link helps him out, and then suddenly he runs just fine. Ciela points out that he looks fine, without Linebeck denying it, and so, their little feud starts out. Then he turns to Link to tell him that he's brave for someone so short, before he introduces himself. The name's Linebeck. I'm a real man of the sea. Impressive, huh? Yeah, really impressive. How can we ever get impressed by just hearing a guy call himself a real man of the sea? There's no proof of that at all. Anyway, he helps out Link because he's granted one wish from Oshus if he does, and so he lends Link his ship. Link is still the one who does all the work in dungeons and such, while Linebeck makes up excuses to stay out of trouble, because he's really not that tough. But he does get better and more of a companion throughout the game, and even shows courage at the very end. Linebeck is hilarious, and definitely the funniest character as well, showing off as a real master of the sea, but not really backing it up. He makes us laugh a lot, and his relationship with the famous pirate Jolene is funny as well. Every time Jolene boards Linebeck's ship, Link has to fight her while he hides in a crate. For being a treasure-loving and cowardly man of the sea, to then develop more compassion for the people around him, and even courage, makes Linebeck our coolest character in Phantom Hourglass.